Dragons, I'm back. I am still doing the Amazing Readathon, and I don't know how long I'm going to do this. It's just a fun board. So I am in the middle of a prompt where I have to read a genre blend that I have not really read yet. So my audiobook, so I'm going to attach the board here so you could see it. I'm back. It is a bit later. It's like almost 12 o'clock. Sorry, my dog is barking outside because she heard something. So I did wind up changing my audiobook. I'm listening to Live and Let Pie by Ellie Alexander. I will have attached a photo here. Hey Dragons, I'm back. It's 4 o'clock. I think I'm gonna soft DNF A Beautiful and Terrible Murder by Claire M. Andrews. And the reason I'm doing this is kind of what I've said before. I don't love reading mysteries and thrillers or romances. I just get a bit bored. So I think I'm gonna pause this. I'm gonna keep the arc until the summer when it comes out, and I'm probably just gonna grab the audiobook and just buy a credit and use it, unless I could get it off of like a site or like from my library, because I am enjoying it, but I'm not feeling that connected, and I don't really want to read stuff that I'm not loving right now just because I have been slumpy. So I'm still have to read a genre blend, which I can find. I just am feeling a little bit like I do not know what I want to read right now. So I am going to do another spinner. I'm still reading my other one, which is not really a genre blend, to be very honest. Ooh. Okay. So I have to read a genre blend on NetGalley, which I have not used my Kindle in so freaking long. So I'm going to take a second. I'm going to go find something on my Kindle that I like actually want to read. And then we're going to come back and we're going to chat about it. I think I'm going to pick up A Fate Forged in Fire by Hazel McBride. I will have attached a photo when I went to go do it. I don't know anything about this. I know that it's a romantasy and I want to read it. So that's going to be what I'm going to do. I know just looking at this, it looks like there's a lot of like trigger warnings, but I am pretty easy with my triggers. So I'm going to dive into this. I'm going to try to get up to like 25% and then I'm going to give you guys like an update. But that is not a full DNF. That is just a temporary DNF because I really need some fantasy to kick me, and I haven't read on my Kindle in so long. So it will be good to kind of get something read off my Kindle that is just an e-arc. And this comes out in May, so I will probably read it this weekend. So once I get to 25%, I will give you guys an update. Bye. Dragons, I'm back. It is Saturday, and I wound up switching my book because I wasn't really liking it, and I'm gonna probably go back to it, but I just needed something that was going to keep me reading, and that wasn't the book. So I'm now reading The Sleepless by Jen Williams. Problem is, it doesn't come out until September. I didn't realize that when I was like picking up books, but I honestly really don't care. So I'm going to talk about it in this vlog. I'm going to keep all my thoughts non-spoilery, but it's her, I don't know if it's her first YA, but it's the first YA that I'm aware of. So here's the cover of that one. That is so interesting. So you basically have a main character named Everland. That's how it's spelled. It looks like elf, like that's how it looks, but I think it's like Everand or Elforand. And she in her past was in an orphanage, and she was taken from the orphanage by this mage in this little city, and she was thrown into this ocean as kind of like a sacrifice to the people underneath. The gods decided that they're not going to kill her, they're going to take her, and they filled her with poison. So if she touches anyone, it's dangerous and she can like kill them basically. So that's one character. And then the other character you follow, it's a little bit of a harder name to say, so I'm just going to call him A. I cannot pronounce his name. I am so sorry. But he lives in a monastery, and he is one of the sleepless, which is what the title is. And he's basically has two souls in his body. So when he's awake, he's his typical self, and then when he falls asleep, he's locked in his room by the monks, and another person comes out. He doesn't know who this person is, he just knows that they do things. And in his past, it has done very, very horrible things. So now these two characters are in a situation where A has taken something from this land to kind of like save the monks, because his whole commune, or his whole monk, all the people in the monks building have been killed. And and they've been taken somewhere, and he's the only one that's left, and his job, if he wants to get all of his friends back, is to go kidnap this creature from the land that Elfaran protects. And now they are kind of forced reluctantly to kind of work together. It's a little bit of a complicated story because they're both working for different people, and it's like their objectives are sort of like opposite, but they're kind of forced to work together. So it's interesting because they're not like, both of them don't like this person, but they both of them are sort of reluctant allies, I guess. But it's very, very cutthroat, and like right now she's communicating with the person like in him, and I'm just having a fun time with it. Like, it's a quick read. It was a lot shorter than the other book I was considering reading. I'm not feeling my best today. I don't know if it's because my allergies are annoying and it's making me feel like a little bit nauseous. But yeah, I also got like a ridiculous amount of information today about the Amazing Readathon and about Escape. Escape I've known about, but I'm just like starting to like pre-plan my May and my June TBR. I know May's gonna be crazy for me. It's always crazy with the show going up. I head back to work next week. This week's a weird week. We're going into a weird week because we have testing. And I'm just trying to get all my ducklets in a row so I know what I'm doing. But I paid to get a sneak peek of Amazing Readathon. I'm not going to mention anything about it, but I just have more information. And I'm just kind of in the middle of deciding like what team I want to join for both of them. I'm in Podcasters for Escape with Mel, and I'm just kind of making those decisions. But now that I know how Escape works and how Amazing will work, I'm kind of thinking like, what book should I actually read this month before the end? Or what book should I save for those two readathons? So, because this month was kind of a wash. I did Aurelium, but it didn't really like keep me activated the whole month. So yeah, I'm about 25% into that book. I'm still watching Golden Compass. It's okay. I like it better this season, a little bit better than the first season. And then I'm watching, reading the next Ellie Alexander. If I didn't attach a photo, I'll attach it before this clip. But I'm like 50% into that book. These books are so quick and fun to read, and I'm really having a fun time. This one is connected to a cold case, but then a case in the present. It's very, very like small town-esque. I think my favorite of these books are the ones that are in the small town, and I'm having a fun time with it. So I'm going to go read maybe to 50% mark and give you guys an update. It may be tomorrow morning. Tomorrow is Easter, so I'm not actually leaving my house. I'm just going to stay home. I'm going to work out. I'm probably going to just pick a show to watch. I'm probably going to rewatch The Last of Us tomorrow. And yeah, I'm going to go do sprints with Bree from Four Paws in a Book and talk with everyone that like knows stuff, because no one else really knows stuff, just the people in that chat, because they're her top tier Patreon members, which yes, I did decide to become one because I needed all the information. And it will keep me something to keep motivated, because I know that the next like month is just going to be rather stressful. The good news is I got a lot of stuff done at work like when I went in that day, and I have like 2 days this week, as long as nothing with testing goes awfully wrong, that I can like work on projects, which is good. It just, sometimes it's a little bit overwhelming, but that's okay. I also did start To Steal from Thieves by M.K. Loeb, but I'm not going to read a lot of this right now because I really want to focus on that one. But I'm also just going to roll until the end of the month, as long as I haven't forgot anything. So I think I'm just going to keep rolling until the end of the month, or at least the end of the week. And then next week I'll probably do something else. I don't know. I have a lot of Neck Alley arcs that I really do need to read, so I don't know, but I'm also awful at reading on my Kindle. So yeah, this is a bit of a chat. I didn't really update today. I went to yoga in the morning. I did my chat with Bree, and then I had to go get air in my tire because we're getting up to bike weather season. So yeah, I did a bunch of stuff. All right, I'm going to go read a bit more. My puppy's outside with my mom, and I should probably go sit out there with her. But yeah, that is the plan. Ideally tomorrow I will finish both books so I can like roll again and like have another prompt. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. Good dragons, I am back. I am trying to take it easy today because my ring I have that's like tracks your temperature and stuff says I'm not feeling my best. I feel fine, but whenever this goes off, I get a little bit nervous because I absolutely cannot get sick for the rest of the year. So I'm trying to take it a little bit easy, but I am rewatching Last of Us season 2, episode 1, just because I'm not going to be able to watch it live tonight. I'm going to have to watch it tomorrow, and I just have to avoid spoilers, which means I just have to avoid Instagram tomorrow, which is fine. Especially a little bit dangerous because I don't play the game and I don't want to get too spoiled. I know my students will probably watch, and if they decide to spoil me, what am I gonna do? My goal is to watch the first 30 minutes tonight before I go to bed, and then try to watch the last 30 minutes tomorrow when I get home from work. So yeah, that is the plan. I did wind up getting up to 60% in my Ellie Alexandra book, which is just a fun read. Like, it's very, very quick. I'm having a really, really fun time with it. Sorry, I have to turn my heater off because then you guys could hear the sound like the beeping in the back. I know it's annoying, so it's gonna go off in a second, but if you do hear the beeping, I apologize. But that is like 60% into it. If it was not as windy, I might go and take the puppy for a walk, but I think it might just be too windy for me to do that, so we'll see. I also got up to 50% in The Sleepless, and I'm having a super fun time with this book. Like, it's a very, very quick paced read, a very, very short YA fantasy. It's really fun. It's like a heist element. There's a quest element to it. There is the potentiality of like a love triangle. It's very, very nature focused, very, very creature focused as well, which I'm having a really fun time with. I also really do like all the main characters in the story, but it's very, very an isolated story, which I sometimes struggle with just because I don't feel that connected to anyone outside the world. I will say it would work for our fantasy bingo for the god prompt because they do talk about a lot of different gods. The gods aren't like present in the story, but they do talk about it. It's about a religion of various gods. But I'm having a fun time with it. I'm about 50% in. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get to 75% before 4 o'clock and just kind of see time-wise where I'm at. Right now, it's like 11:43. Yoga was not, well, there was a yoga class today, but it was like way too early. So I didn't go to yoga. Tomorrow is my busier day teaching. So yeah, I am going to go read to 75%. Hopefully I will have finished episode 1 of The Last of Us. And then I'm going to have to figure out what's the TV show I'm going to watch. I don't think I'm going to watch the end of His Dark Materials. I think I'm sort of burned out on shows that I don't really want to watch. So I want to find something that I can actually watch for a significant amount of time. So after I finish The Last of Us, I'm going to try to find something. So I will talk to you guys when I have an update for you, which will probably be when I'm like 75% into my book. Hey Book Dragons, I am back. I am here for an update. I did wind up I have about 100 pages left, or like an hour left in my Sleepless book. I think I'm still enjoying it. I don't think it's going to be a 5-star read. I think it's probably going to be a 4-star read. I do like the quest elements. I do like the multiple magic systems. And it's a fun read. Like, I don't think it's going to be a new favorite. I think it's more like a 3.75 stars, but I am really liking the character dynamic, liking the questing elements, and I'm having a fun time with it. I'm also about 75% into my Ellie Alexandra book, which I will probably finish tomorrow if I can like actually use my preps to be on prep and like get stuff done, because tomorrow's technically testing. I also just finished watching The Last of Us episode 2, season 2. So I am going to pause that. I'm going to probably talk spoilers at the very, very end of these vlogs for the next 8 weeks, because I just need to talk to someone, and honestly, like, I'm just going to put it in this vlog, and if you don't want to watch that, you don't have to, but I am watching the season by week, so I'll probably watch it unless like I end my vlog on Monday, which I probably should, but I'll probably just put it at the end. But I do want to roll, because if I can sit down and like rewatch The Last of Us, I will probably finish my book. So I want to roll a dice, and I want to choose 2 prompts for the next one. So yeah, so okay, so I have to go 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I have to pick a spooky book for both options. I have to pick a spooky book. Okay, so let me just do, okay, hold on one second. Hi Book Dragons, I am back. It is Wednesday, so I got my hair done. I actually accomplished a lot. I didn't wind up updating yesterday because I got home and I was super tired. It always happens when we come back from break. I actually sold a lot of stuff on Pango yesterday, and I was trying to find boxes to fit everything. But yesterday I did wind up finishing, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, I think it was yesterday. I finished my Live and Let Pie audiobook. I gave the book 4 stars. It was like a super fun time. I will have attached a photo at some point. And I like had a fun time with it. It gave it 4 stars. Probably like, again, I really am liking the mysteries in this series. Probably one of my favorite cozy mysteries around a bake shop. This one was set in the small town with a current murder and a cold case murder, which I haven't really read by this author before. And then you would have seen that I rolled for Spooky for on the game board. So I wound up yesterday. I think yesterday I wound up picking up The Bewitching Hour by Ashley Poston. This is a Tara prequel, and I have like an hour left of it. So I'm pretty far deep into this book, and this is basically Tara's story. How Tara was, you know, you meet her in season 4. She's very, very meek, and this is sort of her history with her family. And if you've watched one episode of Buffy where her parents come, it is a little bit toxic, their relationship. So you're kind of seeing her. She's kind of in this small town. Murders are happening. Her mother has officially passed away from witchcraft. So she's kind of dealing with that. And there's a murder that everyone's kind of blaming her for, and she's trying to figure out what is happening. So I have like an hour and a half left of this. I'll definitely finish this tomorrow because actually the week is like pretty much done, but my harder teaching days are gone because I was literally just, I painted for like 2 days during testing. And then I wind up finishing The Sleepless. I will attach a photo here. I'm gonna just do this out of order a little bit because, and I'll be honest, this book suffered a little bit. I gave this book like 3.75 stars. I'm gonna round it up to 4 on Goodreads. I don't think I should have read this book during when I was like also rewatching The Last of Us, because The Last of Us was just capturing my attention like way too much. And I think my love of this hindered a little bit in the second half because I just felt like I was a little bit confused about the duration of this story. It became a lot more questy. There were a lot of characters, a lot of gods, and I just felt my interest level like faded a little bit. So I only gave that book 3.75 stars, but it was a NetGalley arc. And then I think I said I was going to read The Coven Tendency, but I'm in the mood for something a little bit more lighthearted. So I'm going to pick up Language of Ghosts by Heather Fawcett. And I'm literally 36 pages in. I'll be honest, I literally have spent pretty much the entire break rewatching the first 2 episodes of The Last of Us. So yeah. This happened last time too, like when I was watching The Last of Us. I think that's all I watched for like the 8 weeks it was on. I just watched it on a loop. The episode 2 is a bit brutal, so spoilers afoot, but I'm not going to say anything until the very, very end. But there are some scenes I will not rewatch, but there are some that I will. So yeah, but I love Bella Ramsey as Ellie, and I love Pedro Pascal as well. So it's been a very, very good season, a very, very interesting season because it's not not really a Laura show, but I am having a fun time with it. So I'm 36 pages into this, and I have an hour left in this. And I think what I might do is if I finish this tomorrow, I think I'm just gonna pick up The Vengeful Dead by Darcy Coates because it's a spooky book and I have it on my Hoopla and I should probably read it before it has to go back. And that will finish the series for me. But so far I have this. This is going to be like a 3-star. Like, it's a fun book, a little bit predictable, but not overall shocking. So I will talk to you guys when I have an update. Bye. Hi, Book Chickens. I'm back. I just want to do a quick update. I did wind up finishing The Bewitching Hour by Ashley Poston. I think that this is a solid read. It is a fun one. It kind of dives into Tara's backstory, and I had a fun time with this. This was the audiobook that I listened to, so I'm going to choose another audiobook. I think I'm going to keep reading this for Spooky because it's a quick book and I can probably get through it pretty fast, but I do want to roll again. Let's see what my roll is. Okay, so we have a 4 to play with. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Which tour? Which your book was listing? Okay, so the last thing I drank was soda, I think. The last thing I drank was actually water. So, Alright, let me go look at my phone and see if there's anything on my Kindle that is like a white cover that I could read, because water's clear, or maybe has water on the cover. Let me go look. And this will probably be my last, little thing. Water on the cover. I think I'm gonna start Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. This is her newest book that I haven't read yet. So I think I'm gonna read that because it has water on the cover, and I just drank water. I'm actually gonna get more water right now. And I think I'm gonna power through and keep reading this book as I'm going around and running errands today. So those are gonna be the two things that I'm going to listen to. Yeah, I'm excited for this one. I really want to power down. I've read about 100 pages. I think I'll give you an update when I get up to like 200 pages because I don't have a lot to say quite yet, but I am having a fun time with this book. So once I read a little bit more, I want to at least get to page 150 and then I'll give you guys an update. Bye. Hi Big Chickens, I'm back. I actually think for my last prompt I said I was going to do a different book, but this book still would count. So I think I'm just going to finish this vlog off with a book with water on the cover and have it be The Language of Dragons. If I do decide to go for a walk tomorrow, I will listen to a little bit more of what I chose, which was The Breakup Pact by Emma Lord, but I don't know if I'm going to count that in this video. I've been super dizzy this week, and I like had some issues the earlier half of the week, and it's flaring back up in the weekend, so I don't know if I'm actually going to go for a walk tomorrow. But I got up to page 206 in The Language of Ghosts by Heather Fawcett. This is a library book that I really do need to read. And it's a fun middle grade, like I'm having a fun time. You follow a main character named Noya, and she's basically a refugee with her brother. Her brother is a very, very powerful mage. Someone overtook their kingdom, and they are trying to find a way to overtake their kingdom, and they're kind of hunting for these mysterious magical lines, like these magic types that people can do to kind of overtake the person that stole their house. And her brother, Julian, is a bit of a complicated figure. He can go very, very dark. He can have very, very bad tactics. And Noah is sort of like his saving grace. She's very, very grounded. But they just realize that she has something happened in this book, and they're basically trying to find all of their their tactics to kind of get back their home, and Noah's being very, very instrumental in it. But I got about to page 200. I'm going to get up to page 300, and I'll give you guys a time check. It's about 3 o'clock right now. But yeah, I am having a fun time with this. It's a very, very quick read. I think I'm going to finish this, and then I'm going to do my spoiler chat about The Last of Us. And then I think I'm going to start a new vlog. We are heading into the end of the month. And I don't really know what I want to read, but I want to finish this today if I can. I'm also taking a bit of a break from The Last of Us. I've been rewatching, but I might do that tomorrow. We'll see. But I do want to take a little bit of a break. So I'm watching a TV show called Pulse on Netflix. But yeah, so yeah, I'm going to go read the next 100 pages of this and give you guys a time check. But it's a cute middle grade. It's very, very political. You have a main character at the heart of it. You have a sea monster that eats cake, and it's just, I have liked Heather Fawcett's writing before. I actually have quite a few books, but this is her middle grade book, so I'm gonna go read another 100 pages and give you guys an update. And then I'm pretty much gonna let my next vlog go until Wednesday, so because that's when Escape starts, and I'm gonna start reading books for prompts. So I just need to actually read this week, which should be easy. So all right, I'm gonna go read another 100 pages of this, and then I'll give you guys an update. Bye. Hi Big Chickens, I am wrapping up this part of the vlog. I just wound up finishing The Language of Ghosts by Heather Fawcett. I'm gonna give this book 3.75 stars. I think it was a fun read. I think it was super quick. I think this book suffered just because I was reading it so long, which is gonna be a goal in my next vlog to kind of change that up. I've just been reading so slowly during the week, and I've been like just reading one book all week. So I really did like this. I thought it was an interesting concept. I definitely want to read more of this author's middle grade, but it's very much like a political story. You have a main character who's a kid who is kind of trying to save her brother from peril. There is magical languages. There's fun side characters. It was very, very cute, and I would give it 3.75 stars, and I definitely want to read more by this author in the future. So if you have no interest in hearing anything about The Last of Us, or you just don't want to be spoiled, which hey, I can respect, you may leave. But I'm going to talk about episode 2, season 2 of The Last of Us, and just say my thoughts, because I am not a gamer. I have never played these games, but I have been very invested in this show since season 1. I am a big Bella Ramsey fan. I know people are very, very cruel about her being cast, but I really just don't care. I think she's fabulous. And I went into this episode knowing something was going to happen, but I did not realize that it was going to be what happened. So I am going to spoil what happened in the end if you don't want to know. But I think that this episode was very, very interesting because it had two big events happening kind of simultaneously. I think I didn't do like a recap of episode 1 because I don't know what I was vlogging. I think I wasn't like doing anything that week. But I remember watching that episode and being like, oh, this is like a slow start to the season. Like we're getting like a lot of information. But episode 2 had two big powerpoints. You got to see Abby and her crew kind of working together and kind of getting closer to the compound. And then you saw the breaching of the compound, which I thought was very, very Game of Thrones-esque. Such a cool action scene, very, very well crafted. And then you have Joel save Abby, which I was not expecting. And then you unfortunately had Joel's death by Abby's hand, which I think is going to catapult Ellie into such a thing of revenge. And I think the reason why I'm okay with it is because I think that we're still missing so much information, what happened between Ellie and Joel in the 5-year gap. And I think that eventually, like, it did come out what happened at the end of season 1. And I think Ellie knows that. And I think that that is sort of what is pushing her. But I think that it was just gut-wrenching to see that Ellie was there as it happened. And oh my god, that was like such a bad scene. I don't think I could ever watch the lead up to that scene ever again because it was just too hard the first time I watched it. It was brutal, like, and I don't like brutal things, but this show for some reason really, really works. Has a lot of emotional moments. I also really did like all the scenes that Ellie had with Jesse and how they were kind of talking about their relationship. I also really did like them talking about Eugene. I think that's gonna come back into play. I also was really captivated by the whole compound breakdown because that was such a big scene that ultimately that last section I probably watched, like, oh my god, it was very, very gut-wrenching. I'm really curious to see what the next episode is. I think that's going to be a very, very grief-focused episode for Ellie, but I just, it's very, very gut-wrenching. I really was on a tear this week rewatching and watching a lot of interviews and stuff like that. But yeah, it was good. I really am not boycotting the show because I just think that sometimes you have to make hard choices for your characters. You have to do stuff that is not popular. And I give them credit for knowing how controversial the gameplay was, continuing to do the stuff in the TV show. And I'm always say that, like, if you change medium, like if you're doing a movie adaptation from a book, if you're doing a video game adaptation to a TV show, your storytelling does have to change. I said this when I was watching Bridgerton. Your storytelling clearly has to change. So I sometimes don't always care if it's small things that they have to change or even big things, as long as it makes sense in the way that they're telling the story. But yeah, that was a brutal episode. I'm a little bit nervous for tomorrow's episode, but yeah, I'll definitely keep you guys updated. I'll probably do a little clip at the end of every vlog now that I'm doing it on TikTok. I'll just edit here. But yeah, let me know in the comments, how did your pre-race scramble go? What did you read this week? What was your favorite book? And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.